And welcome to the Lyme Heart to Heart 5-day Lyme disease healing challenge. My name is Ryan Kearns, and I'm here to guide you on this process of 5 days of working together to take back your body and feel like yourself again. And I came up with this idea just thinking about Valentine's Day, thinking about February. What can I do to help people more? And I thought, Lyme heart to heart discussion where I basically reveal everything that I have for you all over 5 days. So I plan on giving you everything that I've learned through these 5 days, and I plan on, teaching you as much as I possibly can, but not only teaching you concepts and ideas and deep, difficult things to understand. I want to simplify it for you. I want to give you actionable steps so you can actually do things. And by the end of these 5 days, you should actually be seeing progress in your journey. You should start to see yourself getting better and feeling a little bit better. I'm not saying you're going to turn everything around over 5 days, but I'm saying if you do some of the things that I show you, you can start to actually see results just over this 5-day span. And that's because I'm really tried to focus down on things that we can control, things that we can do in order to help get you better, instead of, just talking theory and talking doing specific things that you won't be able to do without our guidance, which there is some of that. There is some things where it just works better if we work with you. We can see your health charts. We can see what you're eating every day. We can help you with your supplements. We can pick out specific herbs and supplements that'll help you with your journey. But today and over these 5 days, we're talking more general, and I'm going to give you some things that you can try or that you can do in order to start seeing results ASAP. Because at the end of the day, the whole idea of Lyme Wars is to help you get better. And if I'm not helping you get better, then I'm not doing my job. And, well, I always do my job. All right. So let's get into this. It is the Heart to Heart program. And even though we've been talking about the heart and we're talking about, healing from Lyme disease, and we're talking about Valentine's Day and, love, we're going to actually start today talking about the brain. Because we're talking about rewiring for recovery. We're going to talk about mental shifts that unlock healing. And it doesn't have to do with willpower. It doesn't have to do with discipline. These are things that you can do even if you're the least disciplined person. Even if you have no willpower, you can start to take back control of your thought process and your mindset so that you can heal from Lyme disease. Now, I know that the term mindset is overused. It's kind of fluff. It's kind of a fluff term, in my opinion. It doesn't mean much, but I promise you, if you stick with me a little bit longer, you'll see exactly what I'm talking about and how this actually creates a huge shift in your Lyme disease journey. And this is just day one, so keep in mind, tomorrow we're actually going into herbs. The next day we're going into vitamins and minerals and supplements that we can use. And the next day we're going deeper into restoring immune system function. So we're going to talk about everything, but we're starting with where? Our brain. Because at the end of the day, our brain controls everything else that we do. So to ignore it and ignore our thoughts and the way that we think and the way that we feel and the emotions that we have would be a complete disservice to your healing journey. Ignoring that and just saying, take this pill and everything will go away. A, is a lie, and B, won't actually help you get to where you want to go. So we have to start with our mentality, our mindset, and creating mental shifts that unlock healing. And let me take you back to 2016. This is the year that I was fighting Lyme disease. It was really tricky for me. I, had my heart rate was dropping. I was fainting. I had serious heart issues from Lyme disease. But not only that, I had a disseminated infection, which means it was affecting multiple organs in my body. And I know this mostly looking back from what I learned along the way, but it was causing me to just sleep 18 hours a day. When I was awake, I didn't even remember things. I was barely awake. I had vertigo. I would get random dizzy spells where it felt like I was going to faint, and then sometimes I actually did faint. So it was a really weird time. It was one I hadn't experienced anything like that. I kept saying to my wife, something's wrong. I don't know what it is. but something is definitely wrong. That was before I figured out that I had Lyme disease. Just a quick sip of water. But I learned that my thought patterns heavily controlled my success, whether that's in healing your body or anything you want to do in your life. But in this instance, I was focused on healing my body. But healing is all about the actions that we take, right? It's all about the things that we actually do with our time, the actions that we take. But the reason that we take actions is directly linked to the thoughts that we think and the beliefs that we have about ourselves, about society, about the world. Our beliefs and our thoughts create actions. If we don't have any beliefs or any thoughts, no action will be taken, because our brain does control our body for the most part. So I started rewiring my brain for success, and I'm going to share what that looks like with you today. But I believe that this is one of the number one things that helped me heal my body. If I didn't do this, I don't think I would have gotten better from Lyme disease as quickly as I did. But now I've not had any symptoms in the past 9 years. I am Lyme disease free, and I feel healthier than ever before. And I'm not saying it's only because of what I'm going to show you today, but this had a big part in the process. So when this didn't just work for me either. When I first started working with Linda, she thought she just needed the recipe, right? She thought she just needed the herbs or the supplements to take or the right, actions to take. But really what happened was, as we got further into the process, we realized she had the recipe. She knew what to do to eat healthy. She knew what supplements to take, but she just wasn't doing the right things. Why would that be, right? Have you ever had something that you knew you were supposed to do, but you just didn't do it? If yes, type yes in the chat, and I'm going to keep rolling here. But basically, we all do this sometimes. We know we're supposed to do things, and things are supposed to be happening. We're supposed to be taking this specific action, but we find it difficult to do, and we don't actually follow through with those actions. But for Linda, it was her mindset that was stopping her in her tracks. She wasn't able to show up for herself and heal because she had a lot of mental beliefs that stopped her. She had beliefs like, I'll always be overweight, or I'm just not a healthy type of person, or I just love food too much to change my habits. And all those beliefs were holding her back. So we shifted our focus to helping her with these limiting beliefs, and slowly but surely she started getting better from that point forward. So by the end of working with us, Linda not only felt completely better from Lyme, but she was only 5 pounds away from reaching her goal weight, because we got through the Lyme disease stuff, and then she decided she wanted to actually lose weight as her next goal. And so we started focusing on weight loss for her as well. As a nutritionist, I'm trained in all of these things, but I know some of you might be thinking, mindset, that's just fluff. That's not even a real thing. I get it. I understand where you're coming from. I used to think that very same thing, but your mind is your command center of healing. Your mind and body are deeply connected. Stress, fear, and hopelessness keep the body in survival mode, which ends up blocking your healing processes. But if we can shift your mind from survival mode over to healing mode, we unlock the body's ability to repair. And these are not just, words that I'm saying here. This is 100% reality. This is proven by science that if we're in that fight or flight state all the time, if our mindset is constantly releasing cortisol, we are not able to heal the body. This is facts. This is not, some woo-woo theoretical stuff. This is real, okay? And hopefully that's sinking in now. But here's 3 mental blocks that keep you from healing. Number 1, healing is impossible for me. You might think your symptoms are too crazy. You have too difficult of a case. You have too much, or you've been doing it for too long, right? You might think that healing is actually impossible. Number 2, I don't have the discipline to follow a healing plan. You might think that you need discipline and you need willpower in order to continue to show up for yourself and continue to follow the plan. And number 3, you're waiting for someone else to fix you, right? You might be saying, I'm waiting for someone to fix me. I want to find that doctor. I want to find that person that's going to give me everything that I need, and then I will get better. Well, let's talk about each one of these. So if you're saying healing is impossible for me, well, I've personally seen thousands of people heal their body, and many of them don't believe it's possible at first, but then they start to show up. They start to take actions. They change their beliefs and they heal, and they go from skeptical that it'll work for them to the biggest champion of holistic wellness, sharing it with the world. This is what worked for me. It's so crazy that it even works, but this is what happened. And there's this thing called neuroplasticity, and basically this is the brain's natural ability to rewire itself. So the brain is not fixed. It is always evolving and changing. It's constantly creating new neural networks and new pathways in the brain, right? And beliefs actually change our biology. This is not, some theoretical nonsense. This is real findings. This is a study that I found that says findings of carefully designed research indicate that our interpretation of what we are seeing or experiencing can literally alter our physiology. In fact, all symptoms of medicine work through our beliefs. By subtly transforming the unknown disease into something known, right? When someone doesn't know what they have, if you don't know if you have Lyme disease and you don't know what you're trying to fix, just naming it can be a huge step forward. It's a huge factor in whether or not people tend to get better, because just naming it itself helps us know what we're doing, what we're healing from, and that alone changes our beliefs, which ends up changing our biology. It changes our body to help fight back and heal itself. So here's a quick action step for you to take right now. Write down one time where something you once thought was impossible, either for yourself or someone else, became possible. So someone did something that was impossible at one point, and then it became possible. There are so many stories and examples of this. Even just something simple that comes to the top of mind for me is when Roger Bannister ran the 4-minute mile. So nobody could run a mile in 4 minutes until this guy came along and ran the mile in 4 minutes. Once people saw that it was possible, they saw someone else do it, then everybody started beating that 4-minute mile mark, and it wasn't really that big of a deal anymore. And now we have people that are way faster than that. But it wasn't possible until it was. Once people saw it was possible, they were able to do it as well. So I want you to know that healing is possible. Even if you've had it for a long time, even if you've been dealing with Lyme disease for 30 years. I've worked with people that have had Lyme for 30 years, 20 years, 10 years, people that are bedridden, can't walk. I've worked with all types of people just like that. And we've been able to get them serious results that turn their whole life around and give them their life back. And we did it through many different factors, right? This isn't all just, here, I give you this thing and you automatically get better. As we're going to discuss, that's not what Lyme disease is. That's not really how we fix Lyme disease, unfortunately. I wish there was an easy button that I could hand you and you push it and you get better. That would be a lot easier for me and a lot easier for you and all the people that I care about. But that's not what we're dealing with here. That's not what Lyme disease is. So we have to deal with what we're in, right? So write down one time where something you once thought was impossible, either for yourself or somewhere else, became possible. And just remember, anything is possible if you're able to put your mind to it and make it happen. We've seen so many people get better that I know for sure that it is possible to take back your body from Lyme disease and start feeling like yourself again. That's why I say it every single time you hear me talk. You'll hear me say, you can take back your body and feel like yourself again. I know it for a fact. I am 100% certain that you can do it. You just have to believe that you can yourself as well. That's the first step, is just believing that it's possible. So, number 2, I don't have the discipline to follow a healing plan. I used to think this same exact thing, right? I actually, believe it or not, looking at my life now, I seem like a really disciplined person because, for the past 40 days now, I've exercised every single day. I've eaten healthy every single day. I barely had to think about it or worry about it. It's just something that I know I'm going to do because I've now kind of brainwashed myself, for lack of a better term, to be a healthy individual and to show up for myself, to take my supplements, to do all the things I'm supposed to do to be healthy. But I wasn't always like this. It was really hard because I had plenty of evidence in my life that I would quit when either the other path was easier or when the current path that I was on was too hard. So for example, I would say, I'm going to go to the gym every day. And I would say that starting January 1st, just like everyone else, right? I'm going to go to the gym every day. And then you go to the gym and it's absolutely packed because everybody has those New Year's resolutions to go to the gym every day. And they go for all of January. But then in February, we all quit, right? I've done that many times over where I said I'm going to run a certain number of miles or do a certain number of pull-ups or push-ups, and then February comes along and I quit. So I had that evidence in my life that I will quit if it gets hard or if it's easier not to go. And boy, is it so much easier to stay in your nice warm bed early in the morning than it is to get up and go to the gym. So example number 2 is, I'd follow a diet, and you're going along following this diet, and then you get invited to a birthday party or to a Super Bowl party or to some kind of party, right? And at the party, lo and behold, there is pizza, there is cake, there is beer. One of my biggest weaknesses was definitely beer. And then you partake in the party, in the fun, right? You say to yourself, well, you got to live a little. You can't always be on a diet. Right? And you give yourself that permission, which, may or may not be good. That's fair enough, right? And then you have the beer or the cake or the pizza or all three. And then for me, unfortunately, a lot of times I would stay off the path once I fell off. So I would have that cheat day and then I would just continue cheating all the time. So I have had my fair struggles with discipline myself. So if you're that type of person, I totally understand. Until one day I learned something actually really interesting, and it was brand new to me at the time. But willpower is great, but something even better is systems, right? Instead of telling myself to do something and trying to force myself to get out of bed and do something I don't want to do, I just put simple systems in place. Right? Like meal prepping for the week ahead of time so that my meals are already made. So now going and finding a meal that's unhealthy is difficult because I don't have it at my house, and it's harder than just eating the food that's already prepared, sitting there ready to go. So I made it harder to fall off the path than easier to fall off the path, right? So I basically flipped it upside down because before, okay, it's hard to get up in the morning and go to the gym. So what do? In that case, I put my running shoes right near the door. I have to put them on first thing in the morning. I made it so, Ryan, put your shoes on first thing in the morning. And then I put a pull-up bar in my house. There's a lot of different things that I've done in order to get myself to work out more. But when it comes to food, meal prepping is one of the easiest things you can do. When it comes to supplements, if you forget to take supplements, you can always set an alarm to take your supplements, and you can use a pill case kind of like this awesome Lyme Wars pill case here. You get this for free, by the way, when you subscribe to a Lyme Wars herb box, but it's Sunday, Monday, it has every day of the week, so you can organize all of your supplements, and that makes it way easier to make sure you took it, because you'll look at that and go, all right, is there still supplements in the Monday one, because it's Monday? If there is, that means I didn't take them on Monday, and then I take them, right? So that's one thing that makes it a little easier. Another thing is just setting a simple alarm on my phone. It goes off at 8 o'clock in the morning. I know, it's time to take my supplements, and I take them. So just simple systems like that can change everything, and it beats the heck out of discipline, right? And number 3, this is one that I started doing this year, and so far, like I said, I'm 40 days in a row. Like this whole year so far, I haven't missed a single day. It's just I stop at the park on the way home to do a quick workout. So I go drop my son off at school. Then on the way home, I drive right past the park. So go right there into the park, do my workout, and then I'm on my way. It takes me like 20 minutes, so it's super easy, super fast. And also, it's just a mental note to myself like, okay, you're passing the park. Stop at the park. Do a workout. Even if I'm sore or even if I don't feel like doing it, I still go and I just, I'll do a lighter workout, or I'll take it a little bit easier, but at least I did my workout that day. I can cross it off the list. I got it done, right? So it's not about discipline as much as it is about the systems that we put in place. So willpower and discipline is like rowing against the current and trying to get to your destination, right? Imagine you're in a boat, a rowboat, and you're rowing as hard as you can, but you're going up the current, you're going up the river. The current is coming towards you, and you're rowing and rowing and rowing, and you're just staying in the same place because you're forcing yourself with all your might, with all your will, to do the thing that you know you're supposed to do. But systems are like building a simple sailboat, right? Imagine you just add a sail to your boat, and it's a huge sail on your boat, and then the wind comes and just takes you along, and then you're lined up with the current instead of against the current. So the current and the wind, you're just cruising, right? You're pushing right along. Nothing can stop you. That is the difference between discipline and having systems in place. So that really changed everything, because systems are the holy grail of healing. Not discipline, not willpower, just simple systems that anybody can put in place. And, we've created so many programs just by putting systems in place for other people, right? We talk to people, we figure out what are the systems that they need in their life in order to get better, and we put those systems in place, and we help them come up with the systems that need to be in place so that they can start to organize and systematize their life into a healthy life. So over time, systems end up creating identity shifts, which is even more powerful. There's nothing more powerful than shifting your actual identity. You start out as the person who's trying to be healthy. You're following the steps, you're following the systems, but you end up becoming the type of person that is healthy, right? People look at you differently. They look at you as the person that's healthy. You're the healthy person. They see you as the healthy person because you identify as someone who is healthy. I'm at a point now in my life where I went to a birthday party the other day for my kid's friend, or cousin actually, for my kid's cousin. Went to this birthday party, and they didn't even ask me if I wanted a cupcake. And the reason is because they knew I was going to say no, because they've asked me so many times before if I wanted a cupcake, and I always say no because like I said, I've brainwashed myself to make these healthy decisions. I am a healthy person. They see me as a healthy person. I see myself as a healthy person. So when there's something unhealthy on the table, they don't even bother to ask me anymore because they know that I'm going to say no. So that's just an example of how, these systems start out as very, very helpful and helping you without needing discipline or willpower or any of that, stuff that some people just don't have or just don't believe that they have. And they end up shifting your entire identity over time into a person that truly has you. People think you're disciplined. People think you have willpower, but the truth is you just have systems in place to, control your actions. So remember, a healthy person is just a person who does healthy things every day. That might sound a little silly, but when it comes down to it, sometimes we forget, like, a healthy person is like this thing outside of me that I cannot be because they are different than me. Like, you might look at me in that way. You might think he is healthy. He is different than I am, but I am not. I am the same as you. There's nothing special about me. I'm just a person who does healthy things every day instead of unhealthy things every day. I go to bed early. I take my supplements. I, do all the things that I have to do. I'm not going to list everything because you get the point. But let's take a quick action right now and decide what micro habit will you start today. So a micro habit is a small habit that you latch on to another habit that you already have. So, for example, do you wake up in the morning? I wake up in the morning. I don't know about you, but a easy thing to do, drink lemon water right when you wake up in the morning. You know you're going to wake up in the morning, so just make it a rule to yourself. When I wake up, I drink lemon water. Boom. Now you've got this new micro habit that's attached to another habit, the habit of waking up, which we all do, right? And that actually can have a big impact on your body. It helps to clear your liver out, helps to, get some detoxification going, helps to, it actually helps with alkalizing your body. Believe it or not, lemon has an alkalizing effect in the body, even though it seems acidic. It actually has an alkalizing effect. So drink some of that lemon water first thing in the morning. It'll help your liver and your kidneys. It's great. It's a great little action you could do. But another example would be to set an alarm to ensure that you take your supplements, especially if you're taking Lyme Wars herbs. You want to make sure that you're taking them every day, because taking them over the long term is really the difference maker, right? We looked at all of the different factors that create success for different people, and sometimes people just simply forget to take their supplements. But if you make sure that you're taking them, you're actually taking the supplements every single day, that is a big step that you can take. That's why we provide this for free. We want to make sure that you remember to take them every single day. And that's just one way we can kind of remind you to. But another way would be to just set an alarm on your phone and make sure that you do it. And example number 3, set a day every week that you will do your sauna. If you want to add sauna into your life, it could be very, very beneficial for detoxification process. But set a day every week, or set whenever I do this, I do a sauna, right? If there's something you already do once a week, just add it to that. And it can be really beneficial. Like, for example, if you go out to to your friend's house on a particular day, I always go to my friend's house on Wednesday nights. Well, before I go to my friend's house, I'm going to do my sauna, right? So now it's a habit that you've linked to another habit. And that's just an example that I made up off the top of my head. But I'm sure you can think of something that you do once a week, and you can just add it in, right? And it doesn't have to be a huge habit. As you can tell, these are small. Doing a sauna one time a week isn't like a crazy new thing. It could be if you don't have a sauna, right? But what I mean is one time a week is not a crazy thing, because it's only one time a week. So you could do most things just one time a week. It wouldn't be too much to ask. Drinking lemon water, that's not too much to ask, right? So come up with a micro habit, a small habit that you're going to do today. And what is that going to be? You can post it in the chat. You can just write it to yourself, whatever you want to do, but pair it with something that you already do. This is so powerful, and it helps you commit to the things that you're going to do, because you now have it paired to something that you're already doing. So willpower is unreliable, but systems and identity shifts create lasting change that anybody can do. So number 3, remember, we talked about healing is impossible for me. Number 2, we talked about I don't have the discipline to follow a healing plan. And number 3, I'm waiting for someone else to fix me. Well, healing is unfortunately not something that is given to you. It's something that you activate within yourself. So your body knows how to heal. It just needs the right tools, the right path, and the steps to get there. Half the battle is belief. If you don't believe you can get better, or you think you need someone to help you, then you'll always be fighting an uphill battle. So it's time to take back control, okay? You can take back your body and feel like yourself again. And I've showed you the science behind why belief is so important, and why belief actually determines whether or not you heal your body. It is a fact that you take actions based on what you believe in. It is also a fact that your body, reacts to your beliefs and your thoughts. So if you're thinking that you can't do it, someone else has to fix me, or you're thinking it's impossible, or you're thinking any of these things, you just simply won't get better. You won't be able to step into that version of yourself that does heal from Lyme disease. So a quick action step for this one is to write down one thing you can do this week that it will help you take ownership of your healing. You are the one in charge here. You wear the pants. You're the one that's going to make healing happen for yourself. No one is going to come along and hand it to you. So what's something you can do this week that's going to help you take ownership of that and start the healing journey for yourself? Nobody's going to fix you except for you. So you have to take back control, show up for yourself, be your own biggest cheerleader, and work with a team that will support you and guide you along the way. Okay? So this is so powerful, and you've got to do this. No one else is going to fix you. You can't. I'm not saying not to work with anybody else. Obviously, I would love it if you worked with me because I just simply love to help people get better from Lyme disease. That's why I created Lyme Wars to begin with. But, you shouldn't wait. You shouldn't say someone else is going to fix me. Someone else is going to give me everything. You've got to show up for yourself. We can guide you along the way. We can help you with all the systems and the planning and the meal plans and the supplements and everything you need to get better, but we're not going to be able to actually do it for you. At the end of the day, it all rests on your shoulders. Even if you go to a traditional doctor, they can prescribe you things, they can tell you to take things, they can tell you to do certain things, but if you don't do them, then you're not going to get better. So at the end of the day, it always falls back on you. Are you going to show up? Are you going to heal your body? You are the one that's in control here. So here's 3 mindset shifts that unlock healing. Number 1, you've got to shift from a victim to an empowered healer. So many people feel like Lyme is happening to them, right? It's been placed on me. It's been shoved on me. And that is totally fair. I totally understand why you would believe that because, nobody asked to be bitten by a tick if you were bitten by a tick. Nobody asked to be, riddled with disease. Nobody asked to have these microbes swarming around in their body. Of course, nobody asked for this. But if you continue to think of yourself as a victim, you will continue to get victim-like qualities happening to you, right? So instead, you've got to view yourself as an active participant in your healing. So this is a journey that you're going on. You have full control of the destination. And yes, this unfortunate thing happened to you in your life. And yes, it's not fair, but you now are in control right now. And you get to decide where you're going to go from here, right? Unfortunate things happen to people all the time. They happen, as you know, I'm sure you have your own story. We all have our own stories of unfortunate things happening to us. But at the end of the day, the thing that matters the most is what you do from then forward, right? How will it affect your journey? How will you take control of your journey? What is the destination that you will get to from this point forward? The power to heal actually rests in your hands. For some, this can actually be a blessing in disguise, right? Sometimes really, really bad things happen, but they end up giving you really, really good things in your life, right? It's like the person that is in a really bad relationship and they get divorced, that sucks. Divorce is always going to suck, even if the relationship is the worst. But, sometimes it's a blessing in disguise. They end up feeling more free and having more free time and not being bogged down by this other person that's kind of ruining their life, just as an example. But sometimes you get Lyme disease and it's a wake-up call, right? For me, it was a wake-up call. I wasn't living healthy. I wasn't doing the things that I knew I should do. I wasn't, showing up for myself. I wasn't truly healthy as an individual deep down, right? In all types of different ways. I'm talking about mentally, emotionally, physically. I wasn't eating well. I wasn't exercising. I wasn't doing the things I was supposed to do. I pretended to do the things I was supposed to do. I pretended to be healthy, but I wasn't actually healthy. And when I got Lyme disease, I had no other choice. I had to strip that all away. I had to become healthy. I had to change everything. I had to change my habits. I had to change the way I showed up. I had to change what I was doing. I had to take actions that created identity shifts, that created new beliefs in me. I had to go through so much work in order to change who I was, in order to heal from Lyme disease. And now, like I said at the beginning of this, I haven't had any symptoms for 9 years. I am Lyme disease free. There's nothing hindering me or holding me back whatsoever that has to do with Lyme disease. So the power to heal was in my hands the whole time, but I needed it forced on me to actually go through the process. And that could be the same for some other people. But this is your opportunity. You could look at it as an opportunity to focus on your health, take back control. Your health will be with you no matter what. There's nothing like feeling like you're in good health, like you're light on your feet, like you have energy, like you're not crashing out all the time, like your joints aren't hurting all the time, like you're not, you don't have chronic fatigue, you don't have headaches, you don't have neuropathy, you don't have all of that pain that you're dealing with. There's nothing like getting rid of that. And this is your opportunity to focus on your health and to feel like you, at the end of this, to feel like yourself in the best possible way, and to feel like you have vibrant energy and like you have health and you can show up for your loved ones and you can have that career that you want and those relationships that you want and that life that you want to live is right behind being a healthy individual. Health is the foundation for everything else, and this is your opportunity to build up that foundation so that you have massive energy. You can make impact on other people. You can make an impact in the world. You can feel good again. You can feel like the best version of yourself, not like a shell of yourself. This is your opportunity to do that. And if you never got Lyme disease, you might never have that opportunity. And that's how I viewed it myself when I was fighting Lyme disease. So I wanted to share that with you. Maybe you don't agree. Maybe you think it's not an opportunity. Maybe you think you are a victim. That's your right. That's on you, right? That's up to you. But I wanted to share how I changed my mindset around it. And it wasn't easy. Don't get me wrong, right? I started off as a victim. It sucked. I wanted it to go away. I wanted it to be done. I didn't want to spend the time. I didn't want to spend the energy or the money on my health. I didn't want to do any of it. I wanted to quit. I wanted to get out of Lyme disease as fast as humanly possible. But that's not how Lyme disease works. That's not what was on my path. And that's not how the story unfolded for me. So I could do two things. I could sit there and whine and cry and let it destroy my life, or I could look at it as an opportunity to fight, an opportunity to take back control of my body, an opportunity to become healthy so that nothing in this world could hinder me again, so that I would be resilient, strong, healthy, no matter what came my way. And that is what I did. I looked at it as an opportunity to heal. It took me a while to get there. I'm not going to lie. I didn't just wake up like, all right, well, I couldn't get better, so now is my opportunity to get better. It was a process, just like probably one you're going through right now, where there's days where you're like, this is the worst thing ever. Why this pain? Why this fatigue? Why? But there's other days where you wake up and you're like, okay, I am going to do the things that I'm supposed to do today. I'm going to stay centered. I'm going to stay positive. I'm going to stay healthy. And those days are great. And those are the days when you can say to yourself, this is an opportunity to take back my health. And I know you can take back your health. So the next action step for you, what's one small way that you can take back control today and go from being a victim to being an empowered healer that can do what it takes to take back your body, to become a healthy individual? Number 2, we've got to shift from overwhelm to small wins. And don't we all know that that's easier said than done, right? Overwhelm. There's just so much contradicting information everywhere about what to eat and how to be healthy. If you wanted to, you could spend this whole month looking at different ways to eat, and you could look at a different way every single day for a whole month. right? You've got the carnivore diet, the vegan diet, the paleo diet, the keto diet. Should I keep going? You understand there's so much contradicting information, so many people saying, this is the only way to do it. This is the only way to eat. This is the only supplement to take. This is the only way to heal. This is the best way to feel good again, right? There's contradictions everywhere. And the truth is probably none of them are right. It's more so about individuality. It's about being unique individual. You're different. You're not the person that wrote the book about eating paleo. You're not the person that wrote the book about eating keto, right? So sometimes you can feel lost or like you don't know what's right and what's wrong. You can hear contradicting information, one right after the other, all the time. There's just constant battles going on about what's healthy. And you fall victim to that. You're the one that has to deal with this, just like everyone else. But I'm saying you and I are here trying to figure out how to be healthy, but we have to wade through all this stuff. And all these people actually will bicker and fight with each other. They will debate each other to find out what's the best way to eat and what is the healthiest way. And you're here listening to me because you believe that I have the way to heal from Lyme disease. And the truth is, it all comes down to personal individual taste and personal individual nuance. It's not going to be, just do this. It's super easy. That's not what we're dealing with here. So to make matters worse, there's no one size fits all approaches, which is what I was just explaining. Healing is different for every body. See, I remember feeling overwhelmed and like I didn't know what to do next because, I didn't know my body, right? I didn't know what was going to work for me. And I could just listen to everybody and going back and forth and debating each other. And this is the best way to do it. This is the best way to do it. This is the healthiest thing. This is the healthiest thing, right? Take this herb. No, take that herb. take this supplement. No, take that supplement. It could go on forever and ever. And it's super overwhelming to feel like there's no real answers. But this feeling sometimes makes people stop in their tracks. It stops them altogether. They say, nobody can figure this out, so I'm just not even going to bother. I'm just going to throw in the towel. I'm just going to give up. I'm just going to do whatever I want to do. I'm just going to eat whatever I want to eat. And wherever the chips fall, they fall, and we'll move on from there. And that kind of sucks too. That's just not the best way because we do want to help you get better, right? We do want you to take back your body. And so doing nothing and doing whatever is kind of stops everything as well. And the brain naturally resists huge changes in our behavior, right? If we were to tell ourselves, all right, starting tomorrow, I'm going to run 7 miles every single day. Your alarms are going off right now. You're going, that's nonsense. You're not going to do that. That's impossible. I can't do that. Don't do that. That would hurt. That would suck. Definitely don't do that. And that's what your brain does immediately. It resists those huge changes in your behavior. And that's why, we'll get to what to do about that, right? But if you feel stuck, I understand, right? I've been there. I've felt like there was overwhelm everywhere. There was way too many options, way too much stuff going on, way too many people arguing about what is the best way to be healthy. And I didn't know where I should focus or what I should do because I didn't know, right? I was just looking at what everybody else was doing and it didn't seem like there was any clear answers whatsoever. And you can pick your favorite one and just do whatever they say, but then you're kind of just going down that same rabbit hole because one day you're going to see someone different. You're going to see the opposite of what that guy said. And then you're going to have to deal with that conflicting information in your brain. You're going to go, oh man, but somebody else said this. And it's just a constant battle. It's so overwhelming. And that's the age that we live in, the age of information. So it's just, there's so much information out there that it all gets muddled up and overwhelming. But that's when I learned to just take one small step at a time because small wins create momentum, right? If we try and get our brain, as we just realized, to do something crazy or large shifts in our behaviors, right? If we try to do large shifts, our brain calls BS right away. Our brain goes, nope, you're not going to do that. And it doesn't work out in our favor. But if we take one small step at a time and we do small little things, little tests, little experiments for us to see what happens, it starts to create momentum. We start to see, oh, when I did this little thing, it actually felt really good. I felt good that day. And when I did this other thing, I felt really bad. I don't think my body agrees with that, right? And that's one way that we can get to the bottom of what works best for us and our body. So momentum leads to more small changes, which eventually compile into big changes, right? Most people that have big changes and big transformations in their life don't have big transformations overnight. They have it over time, gradually. For me, I remember when I finally started taking health seriously, one of the smallest things that I did, actually, I think I tell the story in a slide coming up, so I'll tell you. But here it is, yeah. An easy thing that some people can do is simply stop drinking soda. It's filled with sugar and high fructose corn syrup. A lot of people drink soda all the time. If you're doing that, it's got to stop. It's just an unhealthy behavior. It's never going to serve you to drink soda. There's caffeine in it. It's just not good altogether. And even if you drink the diet one, it's still not very helpful. And they're usually always sweetened with high fructose corn syrup, which is like the worst possible thing you could put in your body. It is poison, and you should not drink soda. So when I started finally taking my health seriously, that is one of the first things that I did, is I cut out soda and I started drinking only water instead of soda. And it had a massive shift on my body. That one small little thing, I know it might seem small. You might even be saying right now, I don't drink soda. And for me, it was a big deal for me back. That was, 20 years ago now, maybe even longer. I as a child, I didn't like drinking water. I drank soda. And I never drank water. I would drink Gatorade sometimes, and I would drink soda all the time. But, when I wanted to be healthy, I switched that up, and it changed everything. It actually made me, I lost 20 pounds just from that. I had all these different shifts in the way that my body was working. I was sleeping better. There was just a cascade of effects in my life just from this one simple thing. So if you find out what that one simple thing is for you that has a cascade of effects, it's so beneficial, it's so transformational. But then, of course, I wanted to do the next. Well, what's the next thing I can do? I mean, that worked so well. What else could I do? Maybe, instead of eating dessert, I'll eat fruit for dessert. I'll eat an apple instead of eating a piece of cake or a cupcake, right? Just that little shift made a huge difference as well. So you go and you add these little small wins over time, and then by the end of it, you're a completely different individual. You only drink water, you only eat fruit for dessert, you only eat salads for lunch, whatever it might be. But those small wins add up into the big picture. So if you were to replace all soda with water, your health would dramatically improve. So just in case you didn't already know that is a great thing that anybody can do. If you're currently drinking soda, cut it out. Use water instead. It's so much healthier, so much better for you. And there's plenty of other small steps that you can try as well. You can try using one single herb. You can do lemon water in the morning. You can do one sauna session. You can go to bed an hour earlier. You can get sunlight in the morning. You can go for one walk per week. You can eat one healthy meal. Just think of these small ways in which you can get better. These small shifts are everything. You don't need to be completely overwhelmed with all of the things that you could potentially do. The goal is not to completely transform your lifestyle overnight. The goal is to add one more healthy habit, one more tiny little, even if it's not a habit, even if it's just a thing that you do today, even if you just say, all right, well, today I'm going to eat a healthy meal and we'll see what happens tomorrow. That is a beneficial thing. I would celebrate that with you. That is absolutely wonderful for your body to just try to do these small little things that end up adding up, because you do enough of them, they become the big win. But you don't have to think about it like that. You don't have to think about adding them up. Just think about doing the next small little win. that mindset shift can change everything, right? I remember learning how meditation would be helpful for my journey, healing from Lyme in 2016. And I thought, but it's so hard for me to do this. I don't know if you know this about me or if you've seen this, but I'm a type A personality. I want to go, 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 go. I have a lot of energy. I don't stop. And I wake up at 4 a.m. and start working right away. And I work all day long. I just like my work and I like to keep going. I'm not the type of person that can sit still very easily. And so when it came to meditation, I just thought to myself, I don't know how I'm going to do that. I mean, I know I can sleep for 18 hours a day because I have Lyme disease and I'm always tired. But how can I use a time of meditation to actually calm my mind, calm my nervous system, and get healing benefits out of it? And I wanted to do it, but I just thought it wasn't going to be possible because it's just too much of a shift from my personality. And then I figured out that if I could just do 3 minutes of meditation for one day, that's how it all started. I'll just do 3 minutes. And I did a 3-minute guided meditation on one of those guided meditation apps. And that was it, right? And then the next day I did 5 minutes. And then I did 5 minutes every day for a while until I eventually worked my way up to 20-minute meditations every day. And then I even threw in like an hour meditation once a month that I would do when I was healing from Lyme disease. Now, I'm going to be completely honest with you. It's been a while since I've meditated. It's not something that I currently think about doing or do very often, but I probably should. It's a great, great thing that you can do for your brain. It helps clarify your thoughts. It helps clear the clutter out of your brain. It helps, relax your nervous system. There's so many benefits to it. But I did it every single day when I was fighting against Lyme disease. And I believe it helped a lot with my healing journey. And I would say people should do it. I would, share that with you and say, it worked really well for me. And if you think you want to try that, you definitely should. But as I said, it was one small step at a time. I didn't even think I was going to be able to do it. And then I did it for 3 minutes, and that's how it all started. So just think of one small thing that you can do that can get you a little bit healthier, a little bit feeling better, right? And there's so many different options. There's breath work and meditation and going outside for a walk. And most of these things are completely free. They don't cost a ton of money. And there's the things that do cost money, like, getting a treadmill or eating one healthy meal, whatever works for you. But do the small things first. Just take small little steps. You don't have to change everything overnight. So choose one healing action that you're going to try this week. Okay? Choose it and write it in the chat. So then I'm going to keep going here. Remember, the brain resists big, drastic changes, but small wins create momentum. And finally, we want to shift from fear to trust. Okay? So fear shuts down healing. This is a fact. This is something that's well known in science. The fight or flight response is just, studied so in depth. Fear puts our body in fight or flight. Healing exists in rest and repair mode. So it's actually the difference between the parasympathetic nervous system and the sympathetic nervous system. And in order to heal successfully, we want to activate the parasympathetic nervous system as often as possible. And one way to do that is to cultivate trust in your body. Your body does millions of things every single day without you even thinking about it. How wonderful is it? How it's massive. Just think about the idea of that. If you were to shrink down to a tiny little level and go inside of a human body, there's so much going on that we don't even think about. From digesting food to creating new cells, healing wounds, your body is a marvelous and capable scientific wonder of beauty. It is absolutely wild what happens in there. And it's time to start trusting your body to heal. Only then can you induce rest and repair mode and start seeing healthy changes in your body. So do this. Make a list of all the things you're grateful for that your body does without you having to tell it to do that, right? We breathe, we digest, we heal cuts. Those are just 3 quick examples, but try to feel gratitude for your beautiful body because it's doing things that are unfathomable by our limited human minds, right? We can start to understand it, but you're not going to believe this. Scientists haven't even fully figured out the microbiome. I know they pretend to, and they talk about it all the time, and they make probiotics and they tell you to take them. But the truth is we know very, very, very little about the gut microbiome in the human body. It's very, very difficult to study. We just don't understand a lot of what's going on. We know that there's trillions of bacteria, all different types, right? And that's pretty much all we know. And they live in our gut and they create our immune system and they actually have a connection between our gut and our brain. We know that much, but there's a lot of missing pieces. There's a lot of stuff that we don't understand that we can't fully wrap our minds around or prove using science and research. We don't even fully understand the things that are going on in our body. And when I say we, I mean the world. Like science itself has not caught up to the level where they can fully understand on the tiniest levels the things that are going on. And so that's just to give you an idea of how marvelous and wild our body is. It's like an entire universe inside of our bodies. And we understand a lot of it, don't get me wrong. I mean, the amount that we do understand is mind-blowing too. But just to think that that's just the beginning, right? There's so much more that we don't understand yet. And that is just so cool and so wild to me. So it's just another reason to feel gratitude for your beautiful body. Think about all of the things that it does for us without us even trying or without us even telling our body to do these things. It just does it automatically without us worrying about it. We breathe, we digest foods, we heal cuts, we heal, if there's a bad germ in our body, most of the time our immune system takes care of it, gets rid of it, kills it. And sometimes it doesn't. And that's when we get sick. And with Lyme disease, we're dealing with these microbes that are very persistent. They know how to survive. And really that's their only goal, is to survive as long as possible. And so our body's dealing with a different challenge when it comes to Lyme disease than most other illnesses. And it's up to us to give our body everything it needs in order to fight that fight, in order to take back our body. So just feel grateful for everything that your body is doing, and remember that you need to trust your body. If you're in fear, if you're thinking, I don't know about these microbes and they're attacking me and it's terrible and I'm scared, I totally understand why you would be scared. It makes sense to me. I was scared, but I had to shift, just like you. I had to shift into trust. I had to shift and think about the ways that my body was healing. And I actually would envision my body handling the problem, fixing the problem. I would envision little tiny, even though I don't even know what they look like at the time, I would envision my immune system cells fighting and killing off Lyme disease microbes. And I would envision this every day. And I would shrink down and think about what's going on inside my body and how amazing it is. And I would feel grateful for my body. And I would do that every day. And that shift helped me a lot when it comes to healing from Lyme disease. I think it will help you too if you give it a try. So finally, wanted to ask you, what is your healing mantra? So this actually helped me beat Lyme disease as well. It's something that I would say to myself, and I actually annoyed my friends and family with it as well. They can all tell you if you ask them, but I repeated the same words to pretty much anyone who would listen, and I would say, I am the healthiest man alive, right? And at the time, this was far from true. I was sick. I had Lyme disease. My body was doing things, my body to me was betraying me. My body was doing things I did not want it to do. I was fainting. I was getting dizzy, all the things I told you at the beginning, right? But I would say it. And I would say it with a smile on my face like it was a joke. I would smirk. I would laugh, right? I would say, I'm the healthiest man alive. And then when people would ask me, why are you eating a salad? I would say, well, it's because I'm the healthiest man alive, right? And I just always said that to people, and mostly to see what they would say. I would look at their face and see how are they going to handle this when I tell them I'm the healthiest man alive. I'm the healthiest man that exists on planet Earth. What are they going to do, right? And I used to get a kick out of it, but also it did help me. That was the surprise benefit of saying it all the time is I actually started to act in that way, and I actually started to believe it, and I actually started to show up for myself the way that the healthiest man alive would show up for themselves. I started thinking deeply about health every single day. I started, caring about nutrition and exercise and how the body works and how to restore and rebuild my immune system and how to restore and rebuild from the damage that Lyme microbes do. I would think about these things all the time. Hence, here I am in front of you today, sharing all of it with you. But that was my healing mantra. And it helped me. Deep down, I knew it wasn't true. I said it with a smile and a laugh, but over time, my actions started to mimic what the healthiest people actually do. And eventually, I started to become healthy. It's not only because I said the words, right? Don't get me wrong. It's not like you just say it enough and it comes true. I don't believe that to be the case. But repeating an empowering belief to yourself certainly won't hurt, right? It can't hurt you to say positive and empowering words to yourself. It can only help. So what's your healing mantra? What are you going to say to yourself about, your body and how your body works and operates to heal you from this illness? Or you can say anything about how wonderful your life is, or about how your body does what it's supposed to do all the time, or that you are a healthy person. You could say anything along those lines that's positive, that's empowering, that makes you feel like things are going in the right direction. And I'm telling you, the more you repeat this to yourself and to other people, you could say it to other people. Just do what I did. If you do want to say it to other people, you can either say it seriously to other people, or you can say it like it's cheeky, right? You can say it like it's a little joke, like, yeah, well, I'm the healthiest man alive. And it's fun either way, right? If you're saying it seriously, if it's a supportive person, they'll be like, oh, that's awesome, good for you. But if you're saying it as a joke, you could say it to more people, because there's going to be some people that aren't very supportive when you say things like that. But if it's a joke, it doesn't matter. It's just a joke, right? So it's not really a joke. It's just, it ends up making it easier to say it all the time if you think of it in that kind of a way. But I used it and it helped me. And I didn't even mean for it to help me heal my body, but I still said it every day, and I still said it to everyone. And I believe it had a big impact on my health. And you can actually ask my family all of this if it's true, and they'll say, yep, he said it every day. My ex-wife will say that I did. My mom, my dad, I said it to them all the time. My brothers and sisters. So it's 100% true that I did say this every day. And I do also believe that it helped me a lot. And I think it will help you too if you give it a try. So your thoughts and beliefs either fuel your healing or block it. So by shifting your beliefs, stacking small wins, and trusting your body, you set the stage for recovery. So tomorrow, we're going to go deeper. Now that we have our mindset in place, now that we believe that we can heal, that we can take back our body, tomorrow we're going to talk about the medicinal herbs. We're going to talk about the science-backed natural remedies for Lyme recovery. And I'm not just going to tell you to take the Lyme Wars herbs, which you definitely should, go to limewars.com and check them out if you haven't already, because they're the best herbs that exist for Lyme disease. It's been proven over and over again. It's basically Booner's protocol. I just made it real easy for everyone to get because that protocol has worked for so many people. I just knew I had to get this in the hands of more people. So Stephen Booner, the author of Healing Lyme, which you're not going to believe this. It's right here. I always have it. He's the author of Healing Lyme. He came up with this protocol that helped the most people. I know, because if you look at surveys of people that tried all of the different protocols, that one always comes out on top. And it's the one that I took when I was fighting Lyme disease, but it was really hard and annoying to find the herbs, and I would buy them in bulk, and I would have to make teas and tinctures. But now it's easy to take them because of limewars.com. So if you go to limewars.com, you'll see you can get these herbs just sent directly to your door. You don't have to go through all the hassle and nonsense that I had to go through. You can just get them. So super helpful. Everybody's been getting amazing results. Ow, I just accidentally kicked my chair trying to stretch my legs. Everyone's been getting amazing results with them. I get new testimonials every week. So it's been awesome. But if you want to try herbs, just go to limewars.com. They're the best herbs you can get. But tomorrow, I'm going to go deeper on that. I'm going to tell you the reason why we take each herb that we take, and I'm going to give you other herbs that you can add into the mix so that you can actually start to get results even faster. You can heal specific symptoms and more. So show up to that, because we're going deep on medicinal herbs. It's not going to be just a simple, just take the Lyme Wars herbs, because that would take 2 seconds. I could just make a short video for that. I could just say, yeah, you want medicinal herbs, just go to limewars.com. But that's not what this is. This is actual in-depth reasoning behind each herb, because I believe if we know the reasoning behind things, people will find other ways to do it, which is great. I'm all for finding other paths to the same victory. I just want to give you the tools that are available, and I'm going to tell you why we take each herb. And if you know of something else that has the same quality, that does the same thing, then you can go do that, right? Because if I'm teaching you why we're doing something, more solutions will come out. More solutions will be available. And so that's helpful for everybody who has Lyme disease. So be here tomorrow for day 2 of the Lyme Heart to Heart 5-day program here in February 2025. And I can't wait to see you there. Thank you so much. And let me just check the chat real quick. Make sure there's no questions. All right, Jim said that trip to Cancun resort, prepared lunch out in the... Oh, yeah. Okay, so he's talking about parasites, I believe. He's talking about some parasites that he got in Cancun. Beware of the lunch that they serve in the caves. That sounds like it makes sense to me. I would definitely listen to Jim's recommendation there. But hey, I've never been to the place you've been, but I have been to Cancun before. Thanks for sharing that, Jim. If anybody else has any questions, just drop them in the chat, or you could reach out to us at help@LymeDiseaseWars.com. We are here for you. We're ready to help. And yeah, we just want the best for you. We want to see you take back your body and feel like yourself again, because I know you can do it. So keep going, hang in there to your strength and your healing. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.